Hi, in this tutorial, you will learn how to work with the switch powerfx function in Power Apps. So this is the syntax for the switch function. The first parameter in the function is the formula. Then you have variables, in this case match1 and match2. You can have as many as you want. And then you check if the result of the formula matches the variables match1 and match2 and the others that you can have here. If it does match variable match1, it will then execute the action for match1, which in this case is result1. If it matches the variable match2, it will execute the action for match2, which in this case is result2. Okay, so let me show you an example for this. I'm here on the home screen. So let's start adding a drop-down here at the top. Here on the drop-down, let's add on the items property a few items for the drop-down. So we're going to say, please select a city. Please select city. And then we are going to add a few options. New York City, Houston, Atlanta, San Diego, and Miami. All right. Okay, it's here. Let's save. Now let's add an image. Okay, let's position the image here at the center. I'm going to increase the size of the image like this. Okay, and now we're going to add a switch function for the image. So here in the image property of the image, we're going to replace the sample image for another one. And we're going to use a switch function for this. So we're going to write switch, open and close parentheses. And then inside the switch, we're going to first reference the drop down, which is here at the top, which is drop down 1 dot selected text dot value. Okay, so this will return whatever option is selected in the drop-down. Now we're going to compare the selected value to a few options. So if the selected value is New York City, then we want to display an image of New York City. And I do have a link here with that image. Now, let me format the text and you can see here. Now let's create another one. If the selected option is Houston, then the image will be another one. Now, if the selected option is Atlanta, then we're going to display this other image. Okay. If the selected option is San Diego, we're going to display an image of San Diego, which is this one. And if the selected option is Miami, we're going to display this other image. All right, now we can click Save and let's play our app. So if I select New York City, it displays an image of New York City. If I select Houston, an image of Houston, Atlanta, San Diego, and Miami. So here you can see how the switch function works. Basically, what it does is that you pass here the formula, the first one, which is the first parameter for the switch function, and it checks the value for the formula. And then it compares this value with all of the variables that you have here. So in this case, New York City, Houston, Atlanta, San Diego, and Miami. And then depending on what is selected, it is what it's going to be returned for this property. So the switch function kind of works like an if. You could do this with an if function also. But when to use the switch and when to use the if function? The switch function will be preferred when you have one variable, like in this case we have this one variable, that needs to be tested. And then this variable has several possible values, like in this case, right? And you know ahead of time which are the possible values for the variable. Then, using the switch function will become simpler than writing several if statements. But for other situations, like let's say you want to test several different variables, where you have several different conditions, and you don't know exactly the value, then an if function would be preferred. Another thing that you can do with the switch function is that you can add some other functions inside of it. So let's do an example here. I'm going to insert a radio control. Let's place it here on the right side. And I'm going to, here in the items property, we're going to add a couple options. So first one is going to be day. Second one is going to be night. Here, day and night. Okay, now we go back to our switch function that is in the image. And we're going to create an if function here in the Miami option, so that depending if it is selected day, it will display one image. If it is selected night, it will be displaying another image for Miami. How do we do that? So let me remove this. So instead of that image link, we're going to create an if function. Open and close parentheses. Then inside the if, we're going to start with radio 1, which is this radio button. See that it highlighted it here. Dot selected dot value, so that we can identify which of the options are selected. Then we test if the selected option is day. If it is, then we will want to display one image. Let me get the link for the image here. Otherwise, if something else is selected, which in this case the only other option is night, it will display another image, which is going to be this one. All right, so click Save. Let's close here. Let's play the app again. Now, if we have day, it's in Miami, we have Miami selected and we choose day. It will show an image of Miami during the day. And if we select night, it will show another image of Miami during the night. And for the other ones, it still works. Atlanta, New York City, Houston, San Diego. Now let me show you another function that could be executed inside of a switch function. For that, we're going to add a button. Let's place the button here. Let's change the text of the button to about. Okay. And now, when we click the button, we will execute a switch function. So here, we're going to write for the onSelect property of the button, the switch function. So we're going to say switch, open and close parentheses. Then what we're going to test, which is the drop-down 1 dot selected text dot value to get the city that was selected. Then if the selected city is New York, what we are going New York City, what we are going to do is to navigate to the New York City screen, which is a screen that I have previously created here. And same thing for the others. So let me copy this, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5. One more. And we close parentheses for the switch function. Okay, so we have New York City is first, then Houston, Houston, then we have Miami, Miami, then we have Atlanta. Let's see, Miami, Miami, here Atlanta, and then here San Diego, San Diego. There is an error here. Let's see, why is it complaining? Oh, it's fine. Okay. So let's save and then play our app. So let's say I select New York City and I click About. It's going to go to the New York City About page, which already has a back button. If we select Houston, it goes to the Houston About page, and so on for each of the options. So this is an example of other function that you can execute inside the switch function. If you liked this video, please click like, and if you want to learn more about Power Apps, click subscribe.